100 proofs the Israelites were white by True Feds.
Bitch ass, pussy ass.
There's no way you Ooga Booga people could be the Israelites. I want evidence.
How many times do we have to do this?
Until you give me real evidence that Jesus is black. Show me it in the scriptures.
All right, fine, let's do it.
Yes!
But first, admit that there is no verse in the Bible that describes him as olive-skinned, or white, or whatever nonsense you people say.
I don't have to admit to anything. I know the truth.
Lame man.
Shut up!
Coward. We're gonna go to your house and use your computer for this.
You're not going to my house. I don't like your kind.
Coward.
Fine. Don't say a word.
Of course you live in a shack in the middle of a trailer park. I expected nothing less.
I hate you.
Let's go inside. Your room stinks.
So how are you going to prove to me that literally anyone in the Bible was black?
Okay, do you believe that in the book of Daniel, Daniel was having a vision of a pre-incarnate Christ before he came into flesh?
Sure, so what?
Let's read Daniel 10:5-6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. Notice the word used to describe his body is beryl. What does beryl look like?
Like this! None of these look like black people's skin.
Look at the Hebrew word used for beryl. It's tarshish, literally meaning a precious stone, and according to the Strong's Concordance, it most likely would have been yellow jasper.
No! I don't agree! He meant that his body was yellow, like brass. It says it in the verse.
Let's take a look at the Hebrew again. The Hebrew word being translated as brass is nekosheth, which would be copper or bronze. So in this context, he had skin of burnished copper or bronze. What color would that be?
No! It was brass!
Let's look up burnished brass then. That's strike one. Now let's look at Revelation 1:15.
Look! It says brass!
You rely way too much on translations. Look at the Greek. The Greek word being used here is chalkolibano, which means fine or burnished bronze,
It
which
says
is
brass.
consistent from Daniel's vision of Christ and the vision John is also having. What color is that again? Strike two.
That doesn't count. The definition says brass, and it also says yellow color. You're a liar!
Daniel and John both give a description of Christ as bronze or copper, a clearly brown
I
color.
don't agree.
Which people on earth are yellow? Wait, let me guess. You're gonna tell me Christ was Asian instead of white?
Shut up!
Anyways, this next example will prove that they are indeed saying Christ has the skin of a Negro. Revelation 4:3. Here we see the stones jasper and sardine being used to describe he who sits at the throne. Let's look at what color jasper is. Now let's look at sardine. What color are they?
This is nonsense!
So let's recap. We have burnished bronze or copper used twice by different prophets. We have yellow jasper, and we have sardius. Which people on earth have this color as their skin? Strike three. You're out.
The Israelites aren't black, and neither is Jesus. I hate...
Let me ask you something. Out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth, do you think black people come from Ham?
Well, obviously. Ham is the progenitor of Sudan, Ethiopia, and Libya. Duh?
Right. So a dark-skinned people. Black, right?
Yeah, what's your point?
You forgot to mention Mizraim, aka Egypt, was also a descendant from Ham.
So what?
So, you just said that Ham is the progenitor of dark-skinned people, meaning Egypt was originally black.
No, they're not! Shut
So
up!
now that we both agree ancient
don't
Egypt
agree.
or Kemet is a black civilization,
No!
you know the story of Joseph and his 11 brothers, right?
Sure, so what?
So why wasn't Joseph, being an Israelite ruler in a land full of Egyptians, instantly recognized by his 11 brothers? Because he was black, like the rest of the Egyptians.
No.
Another example. Do you know the story of Moses?
Yes?
So you know that Pharaoh was killing all the Hebrew babies, but yet somehow he couldn't recognize the Hebrew baby Moses that his own daughter presented in front of him?
Well, that's because
the Hebrew baby was black.
No!
Moses was black, just
No.
like Pharaoh's daughter,
No,
just like Pharaoh.
That's a lie. They're not
Another
black.
example. In Acts 21:37-38, Paul is mistaken for an Egyptian, but yet he is an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, as confessed by himself in Philippians 3:5.
No,
so
no,
yet
no.
again, how is a
No.
Hebrew Israelite getting mistaken for an Egyptian?
I don't care what you think. The Hebrew Israelites were based Aryan Chads. White power.
Let me ask you something.
No.
I know you know the story of Moses from last time.
I don't care about last time, boy. Moses was white. We was Israelites.
Exodus 4:6-7. As a powerful sign, Yah told Moses to put his hand on his chest area, and when he pulled it out, his hand turned white as snow.
Wait. God just made his hand more white.
Huh?
So you mean to tell me that Moses, a white man, had his white skin turned more white as a powerful sign?
Shut up!
You know what? Maybe you're right.
Yes!
Maybe white is right.
Yes!
Let's prove it.
Finally, you're making sense. We can prove it.
Sure we can. Hebrew slaves were in Egypt for centuries working outdoors 12 plus hours a day under extreme heat in the African sun. If whites were Israelites, as you say, wear no suntan lotion, wear no hat, strip to your shorts, and stay in the Egyptian sun for 12 hours a day for just a week.
Well, we're not in Egypt.
I have plane tickets.
This is gonna be too easy. Just watch.
See you in a week.
1 hour later. 1 hour later.
It hurts.
1 hour later.
It hurts.
1 hour later.
Does anyone else smell that? It smells like
2 hours later.
Just as expected. I was going to tell you that white skin is in the Bible. You were right. It's called leprosy.
I've got you now, monkey. The Israelites were white and scripture proves it.
Here we go again.
Okay, I'll bite. What scriptures?
Lamentations 4:7. The Nazi rights were brighter than snow and whiter than milk. Hear that? White! Ha ha ha!
Let me ask you something.
No.
You don't think that verse has anything to do with the Nazarites being spiritually pure and clean? It means they're white?
Let me stop you right there, bucko. It is talking about their skin color, because the verse goes on to say they were more ruddy in body than rubies. Hear that, boy? Ruddy in body! Ruddy in body! Ruddy means white blushing skin. Their body was white and blushing skin. Gotcha!
Are we really going to do this?
You can't do anything. Even King David was called ruddy in 1 Samuel 16:12. That makes the Israelites white. You lose.
Let me break this down for you. First, let's address the claims about the word white in the context you're using it from. In that verse, the Hebrew word tzakak is being used, which means to dazzle, to be aglow, to glare, or be bright. The Nazarite vow is to remain spiritually pure, purer than snow, whiter than milk, not skin color.
Shut up! That doesn't change the fact that ruddy means white blushing skin.
Yeah, about that. There's a reason that the next portion specifies the physical description as more ruddy in body than rubies. You ever see natural, uncut, unpolished rubies? Here's how they look like. In case you're colorblind, these are not white with blushing tones of red. These rubies are brown, black, and dark red.
Still red!
Is this nigga serious?
Before I do this, have you read the next verse, Lamentations 4:8?
Yeah, what's your point?